Hello everyone and welcome back to Cute Crochet. My name is Sri and in today's video I am going to show you how to make this cute little penguin amigurumis. These are really easy to make and this pattern is perfect for beginners. These make the most adorable keychains and you can also use these as ornaments for your Christmas tree. These are perfect gifts for the holiday season. So let's get started. To make these you will need one color yarn for the body of the penguin, some yellow for the beaks, and some white for the belly. For the eyes, I used some black beads and I stuck them on using some fabric glue. You can also use safety eyes or some black yarn to embroider it. You will need some pillow fluff to stuff it. For tools, I have used two different sizes of crochet hook, 3 and 3.5 millimeters, a yarn needle, something to use as a stitch marker, and a pair of scissors. And if you want to turn these into keychains, you will need a blank keyring. You can get them from Amazon or use one from a broken keychain like I have done here. For the body, I will use the steel yarn. This is a 4-ply yarn and with it I am going to use a 3mm crochet hook, which is a couple of sizes smaller than what is recommended for this yarn. It's actually recommended to use a 4mm hook with this. We do this so that our stitches are nice and tight and none of the stuffing shows through. We are going to start by making a magic circle. To do that, wrap your yarn up and over your finger like so, forming a cross in the front. Then insert your hook underneath the cross. Take the yarn from the other side and pull through. Then again yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Now remove this loop from your finger and this is the magic circle that we are going to work into. Start by making a chain 1. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Then we are going to make 6 single crochets into the magic circle. To make a single crochet, insert your hook into the magic circle and pull up a loop. You will have 2 loops on your hook like this. Yarn over and pull through the 2 loops and that finishes 1 single crochet. Let's do it again. Insert your hook into the magic circle and pull up a loop. 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Now we are going to make 4 more single crochets like this for a total of 6 single crochets. After you finished making 6 single crochets, you can pull on this tail to cinch the magic circle completely closed, and this brings us to the end of round 1. At the end of round 1, we have 6 single crochets. This amigurumi is going to be worked in continuous rounds, so we need to mark the last stitch of the round. For that I am using a paper clip here, but you can use anything. You can use a yarn in a different color or you can also get proper stitch markers. Round 2 is an increase round. For this round, we are going to increase in each stitch all the way around. An increase is simply placing 2 single crochets into one stitch. So, go into that first single crochet and make 1 single crochet. Then make 1 more single crochet into that same stitch and that is our increase stitch. Again, into the next stitch, place 2 single crochets. Now into the remaining 4 stitches of the round, make increases, that is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. When you reach the last stitch of the round, remove the stitch marker and place 2 single crochets into that stitch as well. This brings us to the end of round 2. At the end of round 2, you will have 12 single crochets. Go ahead and mark the new last stitch of the round. For round 3, we are going to increase into every alternate stitch. So into that first stitch, make a single crochet. Then into the next stitch 2 single crochets. Then into the next stitch 1 single crochet, then increase. Continue repeating like this: single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase all the way around. Once you reach the last stitch, remove the stitch marker and place 2 single crochets into it. For this and every other increase round, you should be increasing into the last stitch, and if you are not, you must have done something wrong in your counting and you will have to recheck your work. Go ahead and mark the new last stitch of the round. At the end of round 3, you will have 18 single crochets. For round 4, we are going to simply place 1 single crochet into each stitch of the previous round, keeping the stitch count constant at 18. Now we are at the end of round 4. Go ahead and replace the stitch marker. For round 5, place 1 single crochet into the first 5 stitches. Then into the next stitch, increase. Again 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. Into the next stitch, increase. Now repeat the sequence one more time. 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches and then increase. Like every other increase round, you should be increasing in the last stitch. At the end of round 5, you will have 21 single crochets. For round 6, place 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around, keeping the stitch count constant at 21. For round 7, place 1 single crochet into the first 6 stitches. Then into the next stitch, increase. We are going to repeat this sequence 2 more times. 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches and then increase. Again 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches and into the last stitch, increase. Like every other increase round, you should be placing an increase into the last stitch. At the end of round 7, you will have 24 single crochets. Round 7 was our last increase round. For rounds 8 and 9, we are going to place 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around, keeping the stitch count constant at 24. I am going to finish making these 2 rounds and then I am going to meet back up with you. Here I finished making up to round 9. Now I am going to do the face before finishing the rest of the body. First, with some yellow yarn, I am going to embroider the beak. I like to place my face on the opposite side of where the yarn ends. Start counting the rounds from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to place the beak in between round 6 and 7. Come in from the back through any of the holes in between round 6 and 7. Then skip the next hole and go in through the hole after that and bring the yarn to the back. Make a couple more stitches through the same 2 holes to get the shape of the beak. Fiddle around with the shape of the beak until you are happy with it. Then using these 2 tails at the back, tie a knot to secure the embroidery. Then you can go ahead and tuck the excess yarn into the body. Next, on either side of the beak, I am going to place the eyes. For that, I am using these 4mm black beads and I am going to stick them on using some fabric glue. I am placing a dot of fabric glue on top of the holes on either side of the beak. You should use a good quality fabric glue and a good amount, and only then your eyes will hold and not come off even in the wash. The glue sort of fuses with the fiber of the yarn and holds the eye in place. But still, you should not risk it if you are making this for a child. In that case, you should always either use safety eyes or embroider on the features. In both cases, you will have to place it on the exact same spot where I am placing the beads. I am going to let the glue dry completely before moving on. From round 10, we are going to start decreasing. Make 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches. Then into the next 2 stitches, we are going to make an invisible decrease. Let me tell you the difference between a regular decrease and an invisible decrease first. For a regular decrease, we go into the next stitch and pull up a loop like we normally would for a single crochet, but do not complete that stitch. Again, go into the next stitch and pull up a loop. With 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at the same time, and that finishes a decrease stitch. You'll notice that that stitch looks a bit different than the rest of the stitches and it sticks out. For the invisible decrease, we are going to work into the front loops only. If you look at the stitches carefully, each stitch has a front loop and a back loop. Go under the front loop of the first stitch. and then twist your hook around and go under the front tip of the second stitch. Then yarn over and pull up a loop like you normally would for a single crochet. Then yarn over and pull through 2, and that finishes our invisible decrease. You'll notice that that stitch looks the exact same as the rest of the stitches and it blends in much better. Then into the next 2 stitches again make 1 single crochet. Then into the next 2 stitches invisible decrease. Continue repeating like this, 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches and then invisible decrease all the way around. Similar to the increased rounds, into the last 2 stitches of the decreased round, you should always be decreasing, and if you're not doing that, you have done something wrong in your counting. At the end of round 10, you will have 18 single crochets. For round 11, make 1 single crochet into the first stitch. Then into the next 2 stitches invisible decrease. Again 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then invisible decrease. Continue repeating this sequence of 1 single crochet and invisible decrease all the way around. At the end of round 11, you will have 12 single crochets. At this point, we are going to stuff the body. Make sure not to overstuff. For round 12, we are going to decrease into each stitch all the way around, and also I am going to work into the back loops only. We do this so that our amigurumi has a flat bottom and it's able to stand up on its own. If you don't need it to do that, for example, if you're going to use it as an ornament only, you can just do the stitches normally, not in the back loops, and it will have a rounded bottom. You'll notice that here we are doing the regular decrease, not the invisible decrease. At the end of round 12, you will have 6 single crochet stitches. Cut the excess yarn, leaving a long enough tail for sewing, and then fasten off. Then to close up the hole, I am going to weave this tail in and out through the front loops of all of the stitches of this round. Then when you pull on this tail, it should close up the hole nicely. With the help of a yarn needle, bring that tail through the center of the hole and then out through the top of the head in the center. Leave that tail hanging there for now. We can use this tail to sew on a keychain or make the loop of a Christmas tree ornament. The bottom of your amigurumi should be flat like this and it should be able to stand up on its own. For the wings or the flippers, I am using a crochet hook that is one size larger than what I used for the body. With the same color as the body, start by making a slip knot. Then chain 4. Then skipping the first chain, make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. Then into the next chain, make a single crochet. Then into the last chain, make 3 single crochets into the same chain. If that chain becomes a little bit loose, you can pull on this tail to cinch it right back up. And now we are going to work up the other side of the chain. We are going to work into the bottom loops of the chain and we will work over this tail as we go. Make 1 single crochet into the next chain. Then into the next chain, 1 more single crochet. This finishes our flipper. Now you can cut the excess yarn and fasten off, leaving a long enough tail for sewing. This tail has been sufficiently woven in. You can go ahead and cut the excess. Of course, you will need to make 2 of these pieces. For the belly, I am using some white yarn. Start by making a magic circle in the same way as before. I am using the same hook I used for the body. For the belly, we are going to repeat the exact same thing that we did for the first 3 rounds of the body. I won't go too much into detail of this. For round 1, place 6 single crochets into the magic circle. For round 2, increase in each stitch around. At the end of round 2, you will have 12 single crochets. For round 3, we are going to increase in every alternate stitch. Single crochet, increase all the way around. At the end of round 3, you will have 18 single crochets. After you finish round 3, slip stitch into the next stitch and then fasten off, leaving a long enough tail for sewing. Through that same stitch, bring that yarn tail to the back so that it's easier to work with. Now that we have all of the pieces we need, we are going to start sewing, starting with the belly. Center the belly with respect to the eyes and the beaks, and then we are going to start sewing from the bottom. Tuck the tail under the belly piece before sewing. While sewing, make sure that this piece does not overlap the flat bottom. Take one loop from the body and one loop from the belly and sew through both of them. Go all the way around like this. After sewing all the way around, bring that yarn tail to the back and leave it hanging there for now. Next, the wings, we are going to sew it on top of round 7, 2 stitches away from the belly, like so. And then we are going to sew along the top of the wing. Then bring that yarn tail to the back and leave it hanging there for now. Repeat the same thing for the other wing as well. Then bring that yarn tail to the back and out through the same hole as the previous wing. Then tie a knot using these two tails. Then cut the excess yarn and hide the knot into the body using the back of your yarn needle. And as for this tail, if you want to attach a keychain, sew through the jump ring of the keychain and bring that yarn tail in through the same hole. Then bring it out through the same hole as the tail of the belly. Just like that, your keychain will be attached. You can tie a knot using these two tails. But for this one, I am going to turn this into an ornament. So I am going to just make a normal loop. Bring that yarn tail in through the same hole, but do not pull it all the way through. Then you can adjust the size of this loop, making it as long or short as you would like. Then tie a knot using these two tails. Then cut the excess yarn and hide the knot into the body. And that's it. I hope you guys liked this video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.